What's going on, guys? Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, what's going on in the United States, Washington, D.C., and the next stimulus package, money, investing, and yeah, we got some crazy news about the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, as it's basically been flipped on its head, as this is going to be a major week, as they're going to try to finish up the voting process on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, and this is going to be one of the biggest weeks ever for information about what's in the bill, putting the bill together, maybe finishing up the voting process. Is the scheduled date for the voting on the physical infrastructure package, and the plan has always been to have the stimulus package, $3.5 trillion, voted on before the voting of the physical infrastructure package. And if that doesn't happen, well, I'll tell you what Democrats are saying, what might happen if the stimulus package isn't passed beforehand. And we have multiple different new crazy news reports on what is going on with this next stimulus package. Yeah, we're going to just jump right in. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're going to want to subscribe down below because it's free to do so. This week will be absolutely crucial for this next stimulus package as the final negotiations between the Democrats. Remember, the Democrats are passing this next stimulus package by themselves, which is exactly how the third stimulus check package was. Not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package. Not a single Republican will be voting yes on the fourth stimulus package either. So let's just jump right in. I have multiple different sets of items for you guys. You're going to want to watch this one all the way to the end because there's a lot. Here we go. Number one. Okay, first up, senior House Democrats concede that they're likely going to have to scale back the size of the $3.5 trillion Biden spending bill. Yeah, another source here. Representatives Yarmouth and Clyburn suggest that the $3.5 trillion package may be slimmed down. Now, a lot of Democrats have not been wanting to go on the record here, saying that, yeah, they don't want to go on the record. Nobody has been wanting to be the one to speak up on this because, well, who really wants to say this? But I think they all kind of are starting to realize that they're probably going to have to lower the price tag. The question is, how much are they going to have to lower the price tag? And, well, nobody has been wanting to say that yet either. Is it going to be 3.3 trillion? Is it going to be 3.0 trillion? Is it going to be 2.5? Is it going to be 2? Remember, Senator Joe Manchin wants 1.5 trillion. I don't think he's literally the only person that wants 1.5 trillion. And yeah, let me just show you this next piece of news. If you don't like Joe Manchin yet, this next piece of news will probably just push you over the edge. Maybe push him over the edge and make you dislike him just a little bit more. Check this out. Senator Joe Manchin, who's a Democrat, although some in the comments might disagree and say that he's really a dino, a Democrat in name only, maybe a closet Republican. Senator Joe Manchin suggests pausing talks on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package until 2022. Yeah, check this out. Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, is he really a Democrat still at this point, has suggested pausing discussions on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package until 2022 as the House gets ready for a bipartisan vote deal next week. Now, this week, this article was as of last night. Axios reported citing people familiar with the matter. Senator Joe Manchin has publicly suggested a strategic pause in talks over the legislation, but hasn't suggested a specific timeline. Manchin suggested pausing possibly until next year while talking with workers in Martinsburg, West Virginia last week, according to sources, and has made similar comments in private, Axios reported. The Hill has reached out to Manchin's office for comments. So Joe Manchin hasn't made this a public statement. This is, I guess, according to a source, a comment in passing. I don't think this would happen. I think that the Democrats would lambaste him. I think this is part of. Remember, Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, just had a meeting with him a few days ago, closed door meeting, and we've had some mixed results on how that meeting went. We had some reports saying the meeting went fairly well. We had some reports saying the meeting didn't go fairly well. We have some people saying that Joe Manchin will vote for the package. And his last number was 1.5 trillion. Some people are saying that Joe Manchin at 1.5 trillion is his starting point, and there's room for negotiation at 1.5 trillion. Remember that the last stimulus package, the third stimulus check package, was 1.9 trillion. 1.9 trillion, and that did have $1,400 stimulus checks in there for adults, $1,400 stimulus checks for children, $1,400 stimulus checks for adult dependents and college students who didn't even receive stimulus checks last time around, and it had the $3,000 to $3,600 child tax credits for 1 year, as well as $40 billion of rental assistance, SNAP assistance, everything in there. But remember that that package was $1.9 trillion. So now this package, we don't really know what's going to be in there yet. We're probably going to find that out this week. As I said, this is going to be a very big week. I have some really big news to get to here in a second. But just to show you here that is what could be in the package at 1.9 trillion, because that was the third stimulus check package at 1.9 trillion. So if Joe Manchin is okay with 1.5 trillion, and obviously, I mean, if he's at 1.5 trillion, you know that he's going to negotiate up. I mean, let's be realistic here. This is all part of the negotiation strategy. So do I think he's going to stay at 1.5 trillion? Absolutely not. Where do I think the bill is probably going to end up at? I would say it's probably going to be somewhere between 2.5 to 3 trillion, if I had to guess. I personally don't think it would have been 3.5 trillion because, I mean, again, it's just all part of the art of negotiation, okay? I mean, again, if you say 3.5 trillion, I mean, I know there's a lot of Democrats that are saying, oh, we started at 6 trillion. But realistically, it's been at $3.5 trillion for a long, long time. And we just kind of know that packages always kind of get negotiated on. So that means that it's always just gonna wiggle a little bit, right? And that kind of brings us to, we're really now down to where things are gonna get hammered on left, right, and center. Things are gonna get added in, subtracted in. Remember Senator Bernie Sanders, just like last week, yeah, this is as of September 14th, so 6 days ago. Bernie Sanders says Senate Democrats weighing $1,000 vouchers for seniors to purchase new Medicare benefits. So this was literally 6 days ago. So they're negotiating, throwing stimulus-type items in the package. Who knows whether or not they'll throw a forced stimulus check in there, whether they'll throw $1,000 vouchers for seniors to pay for Medicare benefits, whether they'll throw stimulus checks in there at the last moment. This is all part of the negotiation strategies. I mean, this is from literally September 14th, so 6 days ago. So all these things are going to be negotiated here at the last moment. And remember that the second stimulus check was negotiated in the bill after the bill was written. After the bill was written and released to the public, the second stimulus check was added in there, and the third stimulus check was, the third stimulus package, they added in the $10,200 unemployment tax-free provision after the bill was passed in the House, and the Senate added it in after the bill was not only written, but passed in the House. So this is where we're really at the final stages, where things like $1,000 voucher for seniors on Medicare, it's not, I guess it's not really a check. I mean, we're going to have to see how these things work, but it's a stimulus type item, because if you're on Medicare, they're basically giving you $1,000 to help you pay for Medicare. So, hey, it's better than no $1,000. These are the type of stimulus items that could be in the package. And I'll put this list on here right before I get to the Senate parliamentarian here, which is some major breaking news, which the Democrats and President Biden are not going to be happy about. But these are all the items that are going to possibly be in here, stimulus items. There's a lot of items that are not stimulus that are in this package. Remember, this is not just a stimulus package. There's all sorts of other things in there like climate, immigration, which we're going to get to here in a second. But they could add a forced stimulus check in there. They could add a $1,000 Medicare voucher in there. I know that this is, I'm kind of cut off here in the corner here with my picture. But they're talking about a potential $1,000 Medicare voucher to be added in this package as well. So yeah, if you're on Medicare, I mean, that's basically $1,000 to help you pay for Medicare. So if you're already paying for Medicare anyway, it's basically like $1,000. So yeah, we want those kind of things in there. We want utility assistance to be added in there, internet assistance to be added in there, child care to be added in there, adult tax credits to be in there, child tax credits. Remember those child tax credits that 65 million children are getting right now? $250 to $300 per month. Guess what, guys? Those go away at the end of this year. They're gone. If they don't pass this bill, if Joe Manchin blocks it, or if the bill is cut significantly and they have to make significant cuts to this or something like that, they go away. They go away. So the child tax credits end at the end of this year. Now they want to extend it until 2025 in this package. But if they have to significantly cut this package in half or something like that, who knows what's going to happen with that. So the current plan is to extend the child tax credits until 2025. But if they have to cut this package in half, there might not be enough money to extend it till 2025. Who knows what could happen, okay? They're also going to try to put an adult tax credit in there, which is supposed to be for, or probably supposed to be for, adults making under $50,000, but we don't know exactly how it's going to work. Is it going to be a check? Is it going to be a tax refund? Is it going to be something you get when you file your taxes? Is it going to be a monthly check? How is it going to work? Well, we don't exactly know. Is there going to be a forced stimulus check when we think about the actual, stimulus checks? Is there going to be something like that added in here at the last minute? We hope so. And the larger the package is, that leaves more room in there for something like that added in there. Now, let me get to some really big news. And a lot of these things are going to make President Biden potentially have to change his mind on a lot of these, on the whole plan. I mean, the size of the plan, $3.5 trillion. And now the Senate parliamentarian has made a ruling that they're not going to be allowed to include immigration in this plan. Again, there's a lot of things besides stimulus. It's a massive, massive plan. There's climate in there. That could be ruled out even. There's immigration in there. And the Senate parliamentarian has just ruled that the immigration cannot be included in there. Yeah, check this out. I'll read it for you so you can see it in black and white so that you know it's true. The Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough, that's her picture right there, on Sunday ruled against the Democrats' plan to provide 8 million green cards as part of the $3.5 trillion spending bill, the next stimulus package, dealing a significant blow to the Democrats' immigration reform chances. And President Biden and a lot of the Democrats are not going to be very happy about this. The parliamentarian's guidance, Elizabeth McDonough, a copy of which was obtained by The Hill, all but closes the door to Democrats using the spending bill to provide a pathway to citizenship for millions of immigrants. McDonough, in her guidance, warned that the Democrats' plan doesn't meet the strict rules on what can be included in the spending bill, calling the plan, by any standard, a broad new immigration policy. Quote, the policy changes of this proposal far outweigh the budgetary impact scored to it, and it is not appropriate for the inclusion in reconciliation. She wrote in the ruling obtained by The Hill, referring to the budget process Democrats are using to avoid the Senate filibuster. Democrats pitched McDonough earlier this month on their plan to use the stimulus package to provide 8 million green cards for 4 groups of immigrants: dreamers, temporary protected status holders, agriculture workers, and essential workers. Getting legal permanent resident status allows an individual eventually apply for citizenship if they can meet other qualifications. So basically, the Senate parliamentarian has ruled that it can't be allowed in the reconciliation process. Now, if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that it's technically a recommendation. But now we know this because they actually tried to overrule her in the third stimulus check package when she ruled, or her recommendation said that you couldn't include the $15 an hour minimum wage either. And the House of Representatives, actually included it in the third stimulus check package. Because remember, this is this is a Senate rule. This is the reconciliation process is the process where you only need 50 or 51 votes in the Senate. I say 50 or 51 because the way it works is that you will have 50 Democrats voting yes. All the Republicans are going to vote no on this next stimulus package. I say that because a lot of people don't even realize that unless they hear me say it. So all the Democrats are going to vote yes on the stimulus package, just like they did on the third stimulus check package. All the Democrats voted yes on the third stimulus check package, and all the Republicans voted no on the third stimulus check package. And then what happens is the Vice President of the United States, whoever it happens to be, right now it's Joe Biden is the president and Kamala Harris is the vice president. So right now we have the vice president is Kamala Harris. So right now we have a Democratic vice president. So if we didn't have a vice president who was a Democrat right now, for example, if we had a Republican vice president, the Republicans would control the Senate. See how that works? Because we have a 50-50 Senate right now. We have 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats. And the reason the Senate is controlled by the Democrats is because the tiebreaker vote goes to the Vice President of the United States, who happens to be a Democrat, Vice President Kamala Harris. Because the Senate is actually 50-50. It's 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. And the tiebreaker vote goes to the Vice President of the United States. Okay, so the reconciliation process goes like this. So what's going to happen in the Senate is there'll be 50 votes. Democrats will all vote yes if Joe Manchin comes on board, right? All the Democrats will vote yes. This is how the third stimulus check package happened. All yeses. All the Republicans voted no. And then the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, stepped in and said yes for the 51st vote. And that is how the third stimulus check package was passed. That is also how this next stimulus package will pass if the Democrats can get everybody to agree. So we're now starting to get into the meat of the package here. They haven't released the entire package for the third stimulus check package. They're drafting it right now. And they've made some portions of it public, only the non-controversial portions of it, I might say. We're expected to get that this week and maybe even get the final vote on the House of Representatives this week. We'll have to see. But Joe Manchin is really this huge wild card in the Senate because, man, he's just really throwing a thorn in the whole side of things because it's just like nobody can wrangle him in. What's interesting, though, is that he did the same thing pretty much in the third stimulus check package. And at the end of the day, they got his vote and everything passed. So the question is he doing this just to grandstand and get his 15 minutes of fame over and over and over and over? And at the end of the day, will he vote yes like he did with the third stimulus check package? By the way, he did vote yes in the initial vote to proceed on this fourth stimulus package and to proceed on, motion to proceed at $3.5 trillion. But now all of a sudden, it's like when it comes down to brass tacks, it's like, oh, I'm not sure. I need to do all these interviews on national TV and, have my name in the headlines here day after day after day before I make my decision. So you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But President Biden is going to really have a lot of soul searching and decision making to do here because ultimately, it's his package. It's the Biden Build Back Better package here. I know that Congress really is going to be the ones to decide here, but this is Biden's signature package, the Build Back Better package. So now we have some serious changes being made here. It's going to potentially no longer be $3.5 trillion. That's going to be lowered. Okay. Now immigration is going to have to be taken out of there. Theoretically, they could vote to have it back in there and vote against the parliamentarian. But I don't think Joe Biden is going to go against that. So I don't see they'd have to get all the senators, all the Democratic senators, to vote yes to keep that in there, and they don't like to do that. When the Senate parliamentarian rules that if something shouldn't be in there, I don't see Joe Biden or sorry Joe Manchin saying that he's going to vote against the parliamentarian. So immigration's probably out. That's probably a very good chance that the immigration is going to be out. Now, the House could still include it because the House, they could do whatever they want. But when they send it over to the Senate is a different story. Now, they could vote on including the immigration there. They could, remember that the Senate parliamentarian is actually just a recommendation. They could just vote to outrule her. They can actually vote to fire her too. Republicans have actually done that in the past when Republicans were in charge of the Senate. They actually fired the parliamentarian. I'm sure the Democrats have too in the past because remember the Senate has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. But you can actually fire the parliamentarian and just hire a new one. The parliamentarian is not an elected official. It's just it's an employee there. So you can actually fire her and hire a new one if you want to. Imagine that. But probably the immigration policy is out, just like the $15 an hour minimum wage was out. But the real reason the $15 an hour minimum wage didn't make it in is because there was only 42 senators that voted yes on it. But it also could have been because the parliamentarian ruled that it couldn't be included. Once the parliamentarian rules that it's not included, it's kind of a bad sign that it's not going to make it. So two things here really, really changing now here within the last 24 hours. Democrats saying the package is probably not going to be 3.5 trillion, but I must say that the House is currently still drafting the bill at 3.5 trillion. But things are moving really, really quickly. And Bernie Sanders is saying that these $1,000 vouchers for people on Medicare can be included, and they could be announcing what's in this package here as early as today. Remember, even after they announce the package, things can be added in or subtracted at any given point because this is all part of the negotiation process. Remember, the second stimulus checks were added in after they drafted the bill because after they drafted the bill and the public got a hold of it, people were just appalled that there weren't stimulus checks in there. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen again. Make your voices heard. Feel free to call, tweet, email your senators, your representatives. Don't be afraid to blow up Joe Manchin's phones, emails, tweet them. Bernie Sanders, I mean, don't be afraid to email him, tweet him, call him, say make sure there's a stimulus check in there because even at 3 trillion, even at 2.5 trillion, that would be the largest stimulus package ever. The largest stimulus package ever was the first one underneath former President Donald Trump, which was $2.3 trillion, okay? They could easily include a stimulus check, even if they want to slim it down and still, I mean, they could still keep it at $1,400 or something like that, but they could exclude, I'm just talking out the wall here, a lot of the talk I've heard is not necessarily include a check for children because children are already taken care of because they're getting the $3,000 to $3,600 per year with the child tax credits. So they don't really need to give them a double check, right? They're already getting $3,000 to $3,600 per year, okay? But give a check to the adults who aren't getting checks, and they could lower the income thresholds, possibly, right? Although a lot of people that necessarily made up to $75,000 before may be struggling now, and if you live in a high cost of area, that's not a lot of money. So, I mean, I get it. It really depends on your specific situation. So, yeah, but it just really just depends. But make your voices heard because now is the time to do it. Email them, tweet them, call them. You can literally just go to Google and just Google Joe Manchin phone number, Bernie Sanders phone number, Chuck Schumer phone number. So, yeah. But I will keep you up to date. Do not miss any videos at this point because literally information just coming out by the hour. And they're going to probably try to vote on it this week because it's very, very crucial. We also have the debt limit ceiling coming possibly this week and a government shutdown coming in 10 days. If they don't, the government will shut down in 10 days. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. And I will keep you up to date with everything. So don't miss any videos. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's free to do so. You can also click the share button down below to share this video with your family and friends so that they know what is going on with this next stimulus package. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how you can get up to $13,000 from the last stimulus package, and the money is still available. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video, in the next video, in the next video, in the next video.